My name is Valerie Dipner. I was an elementary school teacher for 27 years in the Cherry Hill School District.
My name is Lance Hirschfeld. I've been teaching for about 20 years. I teach high school, so I've taught 9th through 12th biology, chemistry, physical science, anatomy, forensics. I think that's about it.
Hi, my name is Michaela Garcia, and I'm a first-year education major student.
I wanted to teach elementary school because I felt like that's where you build a foundation for the love of learning and the love of school. And I just felt like I had a lot of enthusiasm to bring to young children.
I went on a trip, and while I was there, I was like, I cannot go back with the same goals and the same job moving forward. And so I just kind of thought, I've always been a teacher, helping people, working through things, being able to take information and kind of adapt it. And so why not give it a shot?
I would say the reason I wanted to major in education is because I just really like helping kids, and I just really like being involved and being part of the school atmosphere.
The most rewarding part about being a teacher is just being a part of a child's journey. I get emotional when I think about it, but knowing that I was able to help somebody, even in some small measure, become who they're supposed to be. Seeing a child through a challenge and the look of excitement on their face when they finally get something that they've been working on, or someone who just wasn't interested in school by the end of the year was looking forward to coming.
The ability to relate with students of different backgrounds, to meet people where they're at, especially at the school where I teach. You've got a very large socioeconomic group, so you get kids from the most difficult backgrounds to very affluent backgrounds, and so to just meet them where they're at and hopefully help them kind of figure out where they're headed, what their goals are, what they're after, and help them to be future-minded, maybe see past what they think their opportunities are and think different about the future. That's really my favorite part about it.
It's just watching kids, grow and learn and, find a passion sometimes in what they're doing, and it's just amazing to see the growth of them not knowing how to do this to mastering in it, try different things that they've never tried before and either liking it or not liking it, It's all a learning experience, and I'm just happy to be involved in each child's life in a different way and helping them out and for them to grow.
To some of my students' dismay, probably at least once a week I say, okay, and what are you going to be when you grow up? And how is this going to help you get there? And what is your plan? And what is your path? Because I think when you see what's coming next and what your goals are and where you're trying to get, all of a sudden the motivation becomes more your motivation versus me trying to push motivation. Getting them to see past the small chunk of knowledge to the big picture of life is part of that motivation, part of that trying to help them, part of that getting them to see why this matters and why it's important to hold on to the process and work through it instead of just throwing their hands up and giving up and saying, oh, well, this is stupid anyway.
I often tell the story of a girl I had in math who just was convinced that she couldn't do math. And I knew she could because she was doing well across the board, very bright child. But for whatever reason, she shut down and decided she couldn't do math. And I pulled her aside and I said, you know what, you need to tell that voice in your head to be quiet, to stop telling you that you can't do this because I know you can. And I showed her a bunch of work that she had done to prove that she could be successful. And eventually she came through it and was able to be actually very successful, and years later went on to become a math teacher.
As younger kids, you should, lay it out and try to make education fun for younger students, so whenever they get older, they will be motivated to do their own work.
I will come before school, I'll give up my lunch, you can come in during a class, I'll stay after school, I'll set up a tutor, I will do anything, but if the student themselves is not motivated to try and get there, it's like trying to drag an elephant the wrong direction it wants to go. I'm just not going to have any luck doing it.
Giving them the tools that they need. If it's an educational problem, that's probably easier to solve. because in a classroom you differentiate the instruction. So pulling a child with children who are having similar struggles, or pairing them with someone who is already proficient in what they're doing, depending on the relationship between those two children, can sometimes help.
I 100% believe in teamwork. I believe in making friends in class. Social skills are an important skill to have, to communicate, to talk to people, to work together, because that will help people, these kids in the future.
Getting them used to working with other people is important. It's a good life skill. But also when they work with their friends, there tends to be one person who does work and everybody else copies. And so having the groups constantly be kind of restructured and random really is great. The working independent time is important. The closer you get to a major, I'll call it assessment, you really need to be able to check in with them one-on-one and see where they're at. So a lot of group work is great for depth of understanding and different ideas and different aspects, but there is definitely a place for independent work.
I think when I was a new teacher, I expected students to work more individually. Then as I became more comfortable in the classroom, I saw the value of collaboration between and among students. They can definitely learn from each other, and we're living in a world where so many professions require that collaboration. So starting it at an early age for children to become comfortable with listening to others' ideas, taking the lead when necessary, or knowing when to take a back seat when somebody else is taking the lead. Those are all soft skills that our children need to have.
So I always tell anybody who's like, I'm gonna be a teacher, don't do it, run. And they're like, why would you say that? We need good teachers. I'm like, yes. And here's what you need to know you're in for. You're in for pay that's gonna look good on the surface, but when you look at your take home, it's not always great. It takes forever to get to a truly livable wage, especially when you become a couple, have children, those kind of things. You don't recognize what a big difference that is. There's no guarantee of benefits. There's no guarantee of pension. You have to work forever doing the same job to be able to retire. And if you understand all of that and you still want to help kids, great, then do it. But if you think you're getting into it for summers off and great medical benefits and this great pension package, stop. Because that's not why to do it, because you have to know that those things are not a guarantee. It's a great profession, it's hard, it's exhausting, it's long hours, it's not always appreciated, and there's just a lot of factors, like you said, pay, parents, administration, ever-changing rules that make it difficult. But if you know that, it's a great career.
I definitely know nowadays with low pay and such, it is hard and challenging, and some people don't want to become teachers, but I strongly recommend for you to become a teacher if you even have some interest in becoming a teacher. It has its good days and bad days, and its benefits and its cons. But just like all jobs, so does teaching. But everything is built off of teachers. Everything that you know now, you've had to learn. So teachers are the structure to our world. We teach everything from when you were little, and that's where you are now. Without teachers, the world can't really go on, and it stinks that we are unappreciated. But we need more of you to keep the world going.
With all of the problems that we face as teachers, it still is absolutely the best profession. I wouldn't be able to teach the class I am here if I didn't thoroughly believe that it was the amazing profession that it is. The effect that you get to have on other people in their journey in life is just amazing. My own daughter just graduated as a teacher, so I certainly would have tried to dissuade her. I don't think I could have if I didn't think that it was such a great profession. And yes, the pay could be better. Hopefully we will do something about the unsafe environment that teachers are in right now. A lot has to happen there, but it's still just an amazing profession, and I would definitely encourage someone to go into it if they love it. If it's a summers off No, because the other 10 months of the year can be horrendous if you don't love what you're doing.